In this video, I'm going to keep working on my sound sequence demo. I've got my project in Premiere Pro all set up, and what I'm going to tackle first is getting the overall duration of the sequence set. So for this assignment, we need to be under 30 seconds. I can see right now I've got my video clip here. Looks like it's about a minute and a half, roughly. So I need to make sure that I trim some time off of some of these scenes. So I'm going to go through here and just separate out each of the individual scenes just by slicing the clip. And so as I'm doing this, I want to make sure that I zoom in on my sequence panel so that I get the exact frame where those transitions are happening. So you can see here, I'm jumping from this frame at 23 seconds, 15 frames to 23 seconds, 16 frames, and that's my transition. So I want to slice this right here. Let's go over and grab our razor tool, and it's going to snap right to my playhead. So I'll just go ahead and click. And I'm just going to repeat that process for each of the other transitions. I've gone ahead and sliced up my video screen capture, and I can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different clips. Now, I know that the beginning clip and the ending clip are exactly the same, so I'm actually going to go ahead and just get rid of that ending clip. Just select it and hit delete on the keyboard. So that chops off a good 10 seconds or so. And the rest of them, I'll just go through and kind of look for places where I can trim off some of the extra time. Now, really the main distinction I want to be paying attention to here is whether there's any sort of motion within each individual clip. So for example, this first one, I can see I've got this seagull flying across it. So I just want to be careful where I'm trimming. In a scene like this, where it's completely static, I can really trim wherever I want to from start to finish. So for example, if I want to trim off the end of this clip, one way I can do that is by moving my playhead to the place where I'd like to cut it, clicking on it with the razor tool, switching back to the selection tool, selecting and deleting that extra part, and then right-clicking in the empty space and clicking Ripple Delete. And that just gets rid of the empty space in between those clips. Now, a similar strategy that I can do that uses fewer steps involves using the Ripple Edit tool. So this allows me to adjust the start or the end point of a clip just by clicking and dragging. So here I can click and drag on the part that I want to remove and snap it right to that current time indicator. So this is going to get rid of the section of the clip that's highlighted just in white right now. And it's also going to take everything else on the timeline and slide it down to fill up that empty space. So this just kind of combines those same steps that I did with the razor tool and right-clicking and selecting Ripple Delete. Now here, I really think this clip is quite a bit too long. If I hover over it, I can see that this is about 21 seconds. That's probably much more than I need. I'm going to cut that down about in half. Again here, I could use the razor tool and delete. I could also use the Ripple Edit tool. And I'm going to do that because that's just how I like to work. So I'll click and drag here just to chop this down. And you can see everything else on the rest of the timeline is going to move over to fill in that empty space. And really important step to take as you're editing here is to actually play back the sequence and get a sense of the timing. Most likely you're going to want to have some contrast in timing. So some scenes that are longer, some scenes that are shorter. Right now, this is a little bit monotonous in terms of every scene is more or less the same length. I'm also like way over time, so this is still about a 50-second scene. So I want to make sure that I am just being deliberate in how I'm trimming, both to satisfy the technical constraint of getting the overall duration right and the sort of creative challenge of making a sequence that's interesting to watch. Okay, I think this timing is working pretty well. At this point, I'm ready to start bringing in some of my sound clips and getting those working alongside the visuals. Now, of course, we could take the opposite approach, which would involve editing all the sounds first and then bringing in the visuals. It's really up to you how you want to approach this creatively.